A young beauty falls for the charms of an officer and a gentleman.
Who could be more protective of your child than a policeman?
He kept saying, I was the luckiest man in the world to have her.
But eventually she gets tired of the quiet life.
There was a lot of love with them. I don't know what went wrong.
I already found a place.
It was something that she had that was her own.
There were rumors at work. You can't confirm if they're true or not.
He probably held on a little bit tighter.
Love may be blind and marriage bliss, but divorce is murder. Wyoming, Pennsylvania is a quiet little town, and it's home to 18-year-old Carli Bitterman.
She was warm and funny and lighthearted. It was fun to be around her.
Ugly hat!
We could be silly together. She was always a hard worker. She was working at a local grocery store in the deli department.
She was a typical, normal teenager, acted like she didn't have a care in the world.
Carli isn't all fun and games.
She decided she wanted to go into criminal justice.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. If you cannot afford a lawyer... Oh, hi, Ollie. See you tomorrow.
She wanted to help people. She wanted to become a cop.
She had a compassionate heart, and I think that would have been a great match for law enforcement.
Between work and ambition, Carli still finds time to date.
Carli dated a few boys, nothing serious though.
It's not easy to find the one.
You guys want to hear something cool? Every year, nearly 80,000 prison inmates spend 23 hours in solitary confinement as a form of torture.
I think she was a little bit bored by guys her age.
Jeff was 5 years older than Carli was.
Did you know that 13% of all U.S. citizens have spent at least one night in jail? Look, it's kind of my line of work.
What do you do?
I've been on the force for 2 years now.
You're a cop.
I'm a police officer, yeah.
Well then, officer. Take me away. Save me from this party.
You have the right to remain silent.
Some police officers you see that are, it's not just a job for them, and I think Jeffrey Dennis was one of those guys.
I definitely think she was attracted by the law enforcement thing.
It doesn't take long before they are practically joined at the hip.
They were inseparable.
They would go out for dinner. They would go to the movies.
Carli's looking for somebody to help her in her life, and she immediately falls in love with Jeff, this big, strong police officer.
He kept saying, I was a very lucky man. I considered myself the luckiest man in the world to have her.
Soon, Jeff introduces Carli to his favorite pastime.
Jeff loved hunting, so we got Carli into hunting. It was expensive to go to these hunting trips. Like $10,000 a couple.
I don't know.
That's not bad.
Oh my God, he did it.
Jeff taught her how to shoot. She was a girly girl. Carli was never into hunting when we were in high school. But I will say she was an outdoorsy type of person.
So, thank you for the ride, you big, handsome ossifer.
Oh, my pleasure, man.
So, what's this?
Mom, Dad, this is,
Officer Jeff Dennis, sir, and, ma'am. Found your daughter collecting cans from neighbors' garbages and thought it was wise to drop her off at home.
Found him to be very nice, very intelligent, a good sense of humor. He became a part of the family.
Jeff, heard lots about you. Why don't you come inside?
Oh, sure.
I felt very safe for Carli because of the fact that he was older, because he was a cop.
When Carli heads out of town to college to pursue her dreams, the relationship doesn't slow down one bit.
Okay, so you have a domain, right? And then you have to do the coding. Does anybody understand? Oh, hey, my boyfriend's there. See you guys later. Hey!
Anytime Jeff wasn't working, he was with Carli.
Hey, you want a ride?
Yes! Oh my God, this is so cool. Hi.
Jeff would come up to college to get Carli. He would take her around riding in the cruiser. Carli liked that. She thought that was cool.
But even though Carli's love life is more than she could ever hope for, her academic life is less promising.
There was one course that she had to take, one specific course, and she failed it the first time, and she failed it the second time. And that's the only course that she needed to finish to graduate.
Carli was upset because Carli really wanted that degree.
I'm not gonna take it again.
Okay.
Yeah, it's too embarrassing. I can't. God. What am I gonna do now?
Listen. They're offering me full-time at work. Why don't you come with me?
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. You dropped your coffee.
I don't care. I got what I want.
She was giving up on her dream.
Jeff gets a job with the Dallas County Sheriff's Department 20 miles away, and Carli moves in with him.
I was very happy that Carli was settling in with Jeff because I thought he was going to take care of her. Who could be more protective of your child than a policeman? The policemen are there to protect and serve. And who more so than that?
Psychotherapist Stacy Kaiser and forensic psychologist Brian Russell are worried about Carli giving up on her career to be with the man of her dreams.
I don't like that Carli dropped out of school to live with Jeff. I don't like it as a psychotherapist, and I don't like it as a mother. Because what it tells me is that this girl who had such a passion for her future has now tabled that to go be with someone else. And I worry that she's gonna grow resentful or depressed because of it.
At 19 years old, she would be giving up a whole phase of life that most young women want to have, where they go to school and they do pursue a career and they do meet different people during that time.
Because Jeff and Carli are at different developmental life stages, they're both going to need patience with each other. And at this point in their lives, Jeff is going to need to be patient as Carli goes through her process trying to figure out exactly what she's going to do for a living and how things are going to play out.
2 years into the relationship, Carli has no regrets. And the love is still burning hot.
You're the best.
I know.
He was extremely loving. He showered her with love.
You're the one that brings it out of me.
Yeah.
Even so, Carli misses her friends.
I'm talking to her a great deal. You know, I'm not seeing her a ton. It was mostly via email and phone calls at that point. We made plans for a day. It was gonna be a girls' day. We eventually got in the car and started driving down the main road, and no sooner were we driving, we're being pulled over by a police officer.
It's Jeff.
And the next thing I know, there's Jeff standing in his uniform.
License and registration, please. License and registration, please.
He's like trying to be all official police officer. And I'm like, what is going on?
He's just kidding around.
Well, she's got a clean record, so that's good.
10 minutes later, comes back. Hey, guess what, Becky? You don't have any points on your license, and there's no warrants for your arrest.
Baby, you didn't answer your phone, so I was worried about you. But I'm off shift soon, so why don't you take that cute little buddy of yours home, wait for me, and we can hang out, huh?
Yeah, we can all hang out.
Yeah.
And we weren't allowed to go out to eat until he came home. I was completely taken aback.
Isn't he adorable? Yeah, sure.
I did not think it was charming at all. I thought it was strange.
But to Carli, it's just proof of Jeff's love. And there's even more coming.
I love your daughter, sir.
It's a beautiful ring, Jeff.
Jeff actually asked us if he could have our permission to marry Carli. And that impressed me because in this day and age, kids don't do that.
Welcome to the family, Jeff.
3 years after meeting him, Carli marries the man of her dreams.
They just look so happy.
She was excited for a new part of her life, a new journey.
But there will be hurdles, and the journey grows dark and dangerous.
Carli has given up on an awful lot.
Jeffrey Dennis's world is completely rocked.
Carli Dennis gives up her own dreams of becoming a police officer to marry one.
They were completely in love with each other, and they planned a future.
Her priorities definitely changed, and he became number one.
But a few years after they wed, Carli is getting restless.
Carli has given up on an awful lot.
Being a young newlywed, she should have been able to be going out, enjoying herself.
Police officers have to work sometimes 24/7. They have to go on different shifts.
Carli yearns for another type of company.
What's up?
Well, I was thinking, you know how a lot of people our age are starting to have babies?
All of Carli's life, she always wanted to have children.
Well, I think the time is right for us.
Babe, look, I just want you. I don't want to share you with anyone else in the world.
He didn't want children.
Carli is left reeling by the revelation. Then a tragedy turns her attention elsewhere.
Her father had a heart attack in August of 2003.
Jeff rushes her to the hospital, but can't or won't stand with her at her father's side.
I can't go in there.
Jeff didn't like hospitals. He was a germaphobic.
Are you serious?
She got quite upset. She told him that this is my father and I'm gonna go and see him.
Hi, Dad. Sorry I'm late. So, I saw the doctor and he said the procedure went very well. Sorry. And I spoke to Mom and she said you're gonna be okay, you're gonna go home and you're just gonna work on your diet. Just give me a second, Dad.
Carli said, I don't want to leave Jeff sitting down here by himself. It was like kind of childish.
So, I'm gonna go now,
You just got here.
but I'm gonna call you tomorrow, okay?
Please don't go.
I love you, Daddy.
I was angry about that. Bill was hurt. Carli and her father were just so close. They loved each other so much.
Right then and there, I knew something wasn't right.
Carli's father makes a full recovery, but the hospital incident stays with her.
Let's just go. Jeff, I can see you. You don't need to call, too.
From the outside, it looks great. But the problem is, from the inside, it seems that Carli can't do anything without Jeff.
He took over everything because that's his style.
Hold steady. All right, just hold steady.
I know what I'm doing.
They were involved in each other's life quite a bit, but it was his side that had to win.
Carli was never into hunting when we were close in high school. Now, she was in a tree stand, or she was out at 4 o'clock in the morning, or she was freezing.
You want me to reload?
What I want is to do my own thing.
Once happy to follow Jeff's whims, now she openly complains.
Well, let's find you something to do then.
Like what?
Look, there's an opening at the 911 call center.
Really?
He got her the job at the 911 center.
She was able to talk to people there. She was able to have fun. She could laugh. She could be herself there.
Bill, would you help me with my script, please? Sure. All right. 911 dispatch, what's your emergency? Oh, I understand, ma'am. There's a cat stuck in the tree. Oh, yes, I understand your neighbors are being too loud. What's that, sir? There's a gerbil in your...
Carli finally has a new focus in her life, and Jeff still gets to be a part of it.
If he was at work and she was at 911, he specifically requested to be on her service so she would be dispatching to him.
Sir, absolutely.
But there's one aspect of the new job Jeff didn't take into account. Carli is getting a lot of attention,
Dispatch, the address is 17.
and people are starting to notice.
There's always gossip.
This is a tight-knit community, don't forget. It is a small community of police officers, and they work with 911 on a daily basis.
Thanks, guys.
Jeff was very suspicious, and by nature, being a police officer, he wanted to know more. He wanted to learn more about what was going on.
I got it, thanks. You're a really good teacher. What? What are you doing here?
Never mind what I'm doing. What the hell are you doing?
This is where I work.
I don't like you talking to other guys like that.
Hey, you have no right to come in here and talk to me like that.
There's a standard in society how you handle things, and he was not shy about showing up at her work.
I can talk to whoever I want to talk to.
Come on, you can't be doing that. What the hell are you doing in the workplace like that?
I would have to imagine it would be so embarrassing to have her husband coming to her job and fighting with her there.
It caused stress and strain on the marriage, on the relationship.
When a couple is fighting in public like Jeff and Carli are, what it says to me is they are either not even trying at this point to conceal that there are problems in the relationship, or worse, that they're unable to.
I'm concerned that Jeff and Carli just had a public fight because Jeff does seem to be someone who's image conscious. He has his career invested in that same workplace, and he would not want to make himself look bad.
And so the fact that he is now doing things in front of other people that could actually have a negative impact on his career, he's letting his dirty laundry sort of hang out for those in his professional sphere to see, suggests to me that there's an escalation in his anxiety that he's having about potentially losing Carli.
Carli remains determined to enjoy her new gig and her new coworkers.
It was apparent that she was a different person at that point. He probably held on a little bit tighter.
She's crazy glued to the chair and she doesn't know what to do. And her students had put her there. It was like some prank. Sorry, I'm gonna take this. Yeah, Jeff, what is it? I don't know, the usual time.
He always needed to know where she went, who she was with, what time you're coming back, give me a call.
Where was I? It was this prank that they always do every year. Sorry.
She wasn't allowed to function as a normal person because he had to know everything.
Jeff Dennis would work night shift. He'd call her 10, 15 times during a shift and checking on her.
Jeff, it's late and I'm going to bed. Please stop calling me.
She knew things were not going in the right direction. She knew that things had taken a turn from acute jealousy out of I love you so much relationship to, wow, he's controlling my every move.
Stop calling me!
Soon, his constant attention isn't just driving her nuts, it's pushing her away.
If Carli was asserting herself, I think it was the wrong way to go about it.
She may have not been happy, and she had to seek things outside.
People don't go out and cheat just for the hell of going and cheating. She was looking for help, but she was looking in the wrong place.
And once the line is crossed, there's no going back.
Everything was at its boiling point.
I was definitely worried. I said, hey, you better be really careful.
After 7 years of marriage, Carli Dennis finds escape from her husband Jeff, a police officer, thanks to a tryst with a male colleague 7 years her junior.
I think was a rather one-time deal, quick deal. It wasn't anything extended.
That was amazing, Carli.
I think she needed that validation. She's just looking at her life. Hey, you know, wait a minute. I just look back at the last 10 years and I really haven't accomplished much.
I need to go home.
Yeah, sure, all right.
Jeff doesn't know about the tryst, but he's suspicious that something is going on with someone. And yet again, he resolves to find out what and with whom.
He went to her workplace. He talked to employees that she worked with and tried to get down to the bottom of it.
Hey! What's going on? You are not supposed to be here. What, you don't trust me? Would you just give me some space? God!
The general consensus of the people who worked there was that Jeff and Carli were always a rocky relationship.
And it's about to get rockier when Carli befriends another colleague, Mike Rafferty.
Hey, he shouldn't be hounding you like that.
He won't leave me alone. I'm at my wit's end.
Maybe we should call the cops.
They start out as work friends, but Carli soon develops a full-on crush.
At work, you're stuck for 8 hours a day, and you become friends. The friendship leads to be a little bit stronger.
Mike Rafferty was really a shoulder for her to cry on, somebody to speak to, somebody to be there for her.
Your colors. Yeah, that's better. I'm going back.
Carli tries to keep this infatuation secret, but she can't help sharing with her friend Becky.
I just can't stop thinking about him. Do you remember what it was like in high school? That's what this feels like.
When Carli talked about him, it was a glimpse of the old Carli. There was smile in her voice.
Oh, but it feels so good, Bex.
He was kind to her. He was excited to see her. He missed her when she was gone. I was not surprised. I was not surprised at all. Carli's amazing. She's amazing.
Okay, but just be careful.
I haven't had so much fun in such a long time.
I was definitely worried. I said, hey, you better be really careful because if Jeff finds this out, oh my word. And I know.
Yeah, no kidding.
Jeff, is that you?
I realized he's on the other phone. You know, in your conversation, it was terrible. It was terrible. And I'd be like, are you kidding me right now? I said, hey, you can't possibly be happy in this situation. And there were several times she finally broke and said, I'm not happy. This is horrible.
I'll call you back when I'm alone.
It sounds like Carli has clearly built up resentment towards Jeff.
At the beginning of Jeff and Carli's relationship, I think she viewed his possessiveness and control as care and concern. And as things started to escalate with him and he started to get more controlling and more possessive, she began to feel like she couldn't breathe anymore. She's resentful, she's angry, she feels like she's been stifled, and all of that stuff is sort of exploding right now within her.
I think that while it does not justify cheating, it is certainly understandable that Carli is trying now to recapture something that she had lost, and it seems like she feels justified in doing it. Jeff justified that for her by behaving in an over-the-top, absurdly controlling way that sort of gave her the pretext or gave her the excuse to kind of jab at him in this very deeply personal way.
Carli and Mike's affair hits a fevered pitch.
She appeared to be in love.
And Jeff is determined to find proof.
I can only assume that he had some kind of inklings of the affair.
Jeffrey Dennis was performing an investigation. He wanted to know the whole story. He wanted to know more and more.
I don't know if he was fishing, pretending to be her, acting like I would say something to, you know, implicate she was planning something or doing something. It was just general conversation, and I think when he realized I wasn't going to give him anything, then maybe that's when he identified himself.
Finally, he hits pay dirt.
He found a receipt, and it was around Valentine's Day. And I believe there was a Valentine's Day card and a sexual lubricant.
What the hell is this? Huh?
I'm leaving.
Who is it? No, tell me, who is it?
Mike Rafferty.
Mike, are you really that unhappy?
Okay, I already found a place.
No. I'm not letting you go that easy. Look, I love you too much.
His entire world has been shaken. This woman who he loves, who he adores, is now with another man.
Baby, please don't leave me. Look, if you quit your job, we can start over. Just give me another chance. You owe me that.
Carli faces an impossible choice.
I can't give you what you want, Jeff.
I honestly believe that she was really in love with Jeff. She really was. But she needed something more. And that's what was tearing her apart.
She didn't know what to do.
Maybe the answer is obvious.
It looks like a cold-blooded murder.
She wanted to just be free.
After 11 years of marriage, Carli Dennis plans to leave her husband, Jeff.
She wanted to be single and to be alone and to regain her independence.
But Jeff can't or won't accept that.
Jeff tells this guy, we're okay. We're okay. We're going to work through this.
For a long time now, Jeff appears to have had a lot of anxiety about the possibility of losing Carli. So I would imagine at this point his anxiety is spiking off the chart.
Jeff's having trouble letting Carli go because he has literally viewed her as a possession of his. And I think that he believes that they can still make a go of it and he can save face and they can stay together.
It's very common when a marriage is on its last legs, like Jeff and Carli's seems to be, for one person to be in denial about it and still harbor hopes that somehow there's going to be this big reconciliation.
Jeff goes home one morning after working the night shift, intent on convincing Carli to stay by his side. Neither one of them is going to get what they want.
I was actually working the morning the 911 call came in. There's a shooting at Carli Dennis's house.
Rookie officer Ken Carnes races to the home of his fellow officer with no idea of what's in store.
The police community is an extremely tight community. They work together, they live together, they work on different task forces together. So Ken Carnes knows Jeffrey Dennis. Ken is a young cop. Ken is right out of the academy.
This young cop is in for the shock of his short career.
There was blood everywhere. On the bed, there was no headboard, so there was just a wall.
She was waiting for me. She was crying. She was holding on to the gun that we keep in the nightstand.
Jeff, I'm so sorry.
Jeffrey Dennis said that he came home from his shift. Miss Dennis, Carli Dennis, is waiting up for him.
I'm so sorry that I hurt you.
No, it's okay. It's okay, we can move past this. We're gonna be okay.
No, I screwed everything up. I hurt you so much.
Jeffrey says, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she reaches down to the nightstand where they keep a loaded firearm.
I can't live with myself.
Hey, no!
He jumped over to the side of the bed and tried to stop her, and the gun just fired, and that was the end of it.
Hello, this is Jeffrey Dennis, my wife. My wife, she said she felt guilty for all the pain that she caused me. She brought the gun to her head. And I lunged her, tried to stop her, but I couldn't. I dialed 911 and she killed herself. Tell me this isn't true. I can't. I can't live without her.
It's okay. All right.
Bill and Sue Bitterman get the call every parent dreads.
That's the day that my whole world just fell apart. And why would Carli kill herself?
You know, when you're told something like that, your body just shuts down. You go into shock. You have no idea what to say.
I just screamed. I fell to the floor. I'm screaming all over the place. Carli loved life so much.
We just kind of dropped everything, like literally it was something out of a movie.
As friends and co-workers try to cope, the newly minted Officer Carnes works the scene.
He saw that the gun was on the side of the bed. It was on a nightstand. There was a bullet that was still in its casing that was standing up next to the gun. And the gun had been cleared and it was open, so the gun had been touched.
By someone other than Carli.
Did you move the gun?
I don't know. I must have. I was on autopilot, I guess. My police instinct just took over. No!
He claims he took the gun out from underneath her. When he did, he made the gun safe, as we call it.
The firearm is locked in an open, safe position with the clip next to it and the bullet that was in the chamber standing on its end.
This is Jeffrey Dennis, my wife. My wife, she... I just had to keep the gun safe, you know?
Now that didn't make a lot of sense because there were no other people in the house. There were no children, there were no animals. So what was he making it safe for?
From who?
It was a gut reaction.
Ken is fresh out of the academy, and one of the first things they tell you in the academy is at a crime scene, if you have a shooting, you never touch the gun.
Carnes isn't sure what to make of his mentor's response, so he calls a superior officer.
Carnes contacted our office and he asked for me, because I'm one of the homicide investigators. One of the things that we noticed is that the way and the position that the body was laying was not usually what you see in a suicide. There was also some blood droppings that were in the hallway.
There was blood on the towel in the bathroom. That set off sirens in his head.
He said his wife was having an affair? With who?
As police work the scene, Detective Swarren gets wind of the rumors spreading around the sheriff's office. Rumors about Mike Rafferty.
We were concerned about the 911 center, the person who was involved with Carli.
We start putting together this puzzle very, very quickly.
Jeff Dennis claims his wife Carli committed suicide because she was feeling guilty about her affair. But the evidence suggests something more sinister may have occurred.
And it was very, very clear that this woman didn't kill herself.
Question is, who did?
At any crime scene, everything is possible. Nothing is ruled out. We look at everyone who may have been involved. Everyone was a suspect.
Including Carli's lover, Mike Rafferty.
We have to treat it as a suspicious death. That's how we have to start out. We are concerned about the 911 center, the person who was involved with Carli.
Yes. We were having an affair.
Not only does Mike admit to the affair, but just 1 week before, Jeff confronted him and threatened him.
Mike! You stay the hell away from my wife. You watch yourself. You could get hurt.
He said, I have friends in the mob.
So could she.
He also threatened Carli.
Did she seem depressed to you? Did she ever talk about ending it?
I never saw any signs that would lead me to believe that she was willing to harm herself or end her life in any way. She was a tough girl, and I don't think she would have done it to herself. There's no way.
And then a fellow officer hears something that begs the question, is this the story of a good cop turned very bad?
The friend was going up to the casket to pay his respects, and he overheard.
I told you wouldn't get away with this.
Blood spatter on the walls and Carli's body are not consistent with suicide.
Mr. Dennis said that she was face up on the right side of the bed when she committed suicide. And she held the gun like this with her thumb in the trigger. And that she committed suicide and he lunged at her. But the forensics showed that that in no way, shape, or form could have happened. Our forensics showed through our blood spatter analysis that she was face down on the right side of the bed, likely sleeping.
So somebody moved her before police or anybody got there.
Well, only one person could have done that.
It doesn't look like a suicide. It looks like a cold-blooded murder.
A week after Carli's death, police are waiting for Jeff.
What's up, guys? What are you doing? Hey, what the hell are you doing?
He was saying I would never do that to my Carli, but he did. He was a cold-blooded killer.
Look, I didn't kill her. It was a suicide. I'm one of you guys. You're not one of us.
And they told him that he was under arrest for killing Carli.
I love my wife. I love my wife. Come on. I'm one of you guys. Come on. Come on, you guys know me.
On February 26th, we believe he made that decision to take her life because she was leaving him.
On the day in question, he worked the night shift. He generally would go home right after the shift was over.
He stayed at the police station much longer than usual. He wanted to make sure she was asleep when he got home. If he was going to say this was a suicide, he couldn't take the risk of her fighting back or of her moving. Maybe he had more courage to do it while she was in her sleep. The experts had said that it took between 3 and 15 minutes for Carli to bleed and to die.
She was lying there suffering. She died a horrific death. Nobody deserves to die like that.
So during that time, he's doing all these things, washing his hands, clearing the gun. He wanted to touch the gun so that he could explain why his fingerprints were on the gun.
Investigators believe Jeff chose this day to kill Carli because there was a rookie on duty who wouldn't ask any questions.
We believe that he had been planning this at least to the extent that he wanted to know who was going to be on shift that night.
But that plan backfired.
For a young police officer to make that determination when faced with a fellow police officer is an amazing reaction by Ken Carnes.
20 months later, Jeffrey Dennis stands trial for first-degree murder.
I think it was a shock to a lot of people. A lot of people believe in police officers.
Investigators present a strong case to the jury, including a video recreation of the crime.
After we collected the evidence, we found a company who would do some simulations for us, showing where he was at, where the victim was laying at that point. And they came up with a video.
It takes only 2 hours for the jury to find Jeffrey Dennis guilty. He's sentenced to life in prison.
No possibility of parole.
Looking back on Jeff and Carli's relationship, there were a lot of warning signs. First of all, the fact that Jeff was so eager to get her away from where she lived, away from her friends, and not working. Secondly, that he insisted that she be in a house that was cold and dark. And thirdly, that he really did want to control her and possess her.
There's a key question that we ask when we look to see if somebody's behavior is really altruistic and protective, or if it is selfish and controlling. And that is, who is it for? And in this case, all along, it looks like Jeff's behavior was mostly for Jeff's benefit, to tamp down the anxiety that he had about losing this woman that he was so infatuated with.
It seems to me what ultimately led to Carli's death is Jeff's feeling of ownership over her and his belief that if he couldn't have her, no one could.
Carli Bitterman is still dearly missed by family and friends.
There was nothing more important in the world to me than Carli. Nothing. Not even my own life. I would have died in an instant for her.
Carli was having an affair, so is that a reason to be murdered?
10 years later, I don't let people forget. She is a part of my life on a daily basis. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about her.